Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Edge channel. The promoter of former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, Hearn, spoke about the criticism of his athlete. Fans mostly don't really like those who have achieved significant success. I also came across this at one time. When Joshua and I first started, we had a lot of fan support. But then when Anthony started filling stadiums, he was criticized. Look at Joshua's resume. He has the best track record in the heavyweight division. He always accepted the most difficult challenges. Anthony has always fought with mandatory contenders and has never refused to fight with the division leaders. Joshua is a fighter, but people will always think that they were deceived and he won another easy victory. Anthony has never had an easy fight. He is a good man who works very hard to provide for his family. Besides, Joshua has a kind heart, so I don't understand how you can dislike him, Hearn said. The famous Ukrainian boxer Yevgeny Khitrov said that he was not at all surprised by the victory of the WBA, WBO and IBF heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk over Anthony Joshua. I said from the very beginning that Joshua is the easiest opponent for Usyk. I always said that, and I don't hide it. And now I say that in the rematch, if he is, the Usyk will win against him again. Joshua is an ordinary classic boxer. First of all, he doesn't have the boxing intelligence that Usyk has. Usyk keeps himself in perfect shape. He has a crazy boxing intelligence. And Joshua is an average heavyweight, thanks to the fact that he is with Hearn. So Hearn led him all the way so that he won 3 titles. Usyk will win the rematch, so they are trying to push so as not to box immediately in the rematch. So that Usyk boxed first with Fury, Yevgeny Khitrov said in an interview. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoyed the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 10,000 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard, absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support, thank you so much. The head of the promotion company Queensberry Promotions, Frank Warren, shared plans for 2022 for his war, the British super heavyweight Daniel Dubois. According to Warren, Daniel will return to the ring early next year, and they will consider the candidacy of the regular WBA champion American Trevor Bryan as a potential opponent. The boxer also plans to become a mandatory contender for the championship title in this division and meet the winner of the rematch between Britain Anthony Joshua and Ukrainian Alexander Usyk. Daniel will return to work in one of our first tournaments in 2022. Last year, he did an incredible job and is moving towards winning the championship title next year. The WBA is an obvious path for him, since he took the first place by winning the temporary title, and the fight with the regular champion Trevor Bryan is what we're striving for now. A victory over Bryan will give the opportunity to become a mandatory contender for the winner of the rematch between Joshua and Usyk. So there is a lot of work and big fights ahead for Dubois. The year 2022 will be a decisive for this young man. I have always believed that Daniel was created to reach the top, Warren said. Former world heavyweight champion Tony Bellew admitted that during his fight against Alexander Usyk, the Ukrainian boxer exhausted him psychologically, as a result of which he couldn't fight as well as at the beginning of the fight. I don't regret anything. I went into the fight in the best shape I could get. After the honeymoon, I had to lose of a hell of a lot of weight, but it didn't affect the fight in any way. I was in incredible shape. I went into the fight with a plan and executed it perfectly. But the thing is that I was tired. And do you know why this happened? Because he made me tired. I was exhausted. Usyk was very good at what he did. He exerted pressure through the front leg, was constantly at striking distance due to the front leg. It devastated me. I was not physically tired, but psychologically devastated. My brain literally couldn't work on the same level as his brain. I really adored Usyk before the fight and began to adore him even more after, Tony Bellew said. Bellew admitted that he didn't want to fight with Alexander Usyk, but the Ukrainian's audacious challenge after defeating Murat Gassiev left him no choice. I didn't really want to fight with Usyk. I ended my career and went on my honeymoon. He shouted my name. It is worth admitting that Alexander spoke very flatteringly about me. When I retired from the third heavyweight, he said he thought I was the best cruiserweight in the world. Usyk beat Glavatsky in a fight for the WBO title, and I just left the cruise line. Perhaps this happened even before his fight with Glavatsky, when he was not yet a champion. Yes, I left the first heavyweight when he hadn't fought in championship fight yet. I knew how good he was. I had 2 fights with David Haye. I was the champion of Great Britain, Europe and the world. I retired, finished boxing. I got married. My life in the boxing world is over. I was happy to work as an expert and do what I did. I remember spending my honeymoon and this guy, who doesn't know a single word of English, said, "Tony Bellew, I want Tony Bellew." And I was like, "Oh, you son of a bitch." Then I freaked out and called Eddie Hearn, Tony Bellew said. Bellew said that he considers Alexander Usyk the best boxer he has ever entered the ring with. It was only at the final stage of my career that people started paying tribute to my boxing skills. Before the fight with Usyk, everyone thought that I only had a puncher's chance. I started out playing the boxer, and now that after our fight people have seen how strong Usyk is, they think Tony Bellew was really good. Yes, I beat Usyk before the 8th round, in which he stopped me, but in the end he is a better boxer than me. Sometimes you need to raise your hands and say, I lost to a stronger opponent. Usyk is the best fighter I've ever met. He is fantastic at what he does, Tony Bellew said. Alexander Krasuk, the promoter of the WBA, WBO and IBF heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk, claims that Anthony Joshua is ready to give up an immediate rematch with his word, so that he can box with WBC title holder Tyson Fury. The talk about the Usyk-Fury duel has a very serious background. Fury wants this fight today. Fury's promoters and his managers wanted this fight. Usyk wants this fight. His promoters and managers want it. Anthony Joshua is run against this fight taking place, as are his promoters. The only person who is against this whole case is Dillian Whyte. But here, his promoter is in common with Joshua, and slightly different interests are being pursued. In fact, Eddie Hearn is more in favor of the Usyk-Fury duel taking place than the other way around. But from the point of view of his business, holding a duel with the champion Fury in Britain for his worldwide is also a sweet bun. Joshua is ready to take a step aside only if he guarantees that he will hold the next duel with the winner. No one on planet Earth can guarantee this with Dillian Whyte's lawsuit. Therefore, I think that the most likely for today is a Fury-Whyte fight and a Joshua-Usyk rematch, Krasuk said. Krasuk believes that the next year boxing fans will see a fight for the title of absolute world champion in heavyweight. As for the next year, according to what has been and is now a very big event awaits us. It is quite possible that we will see a duel for the title of absolute champion in 2022. The world lives not so much by characters as around this event. There has never been an absolute champion in the heavyweight division who would own 4 belts. IBF, WBA, WBC and WBO. I always want to see something that wasn't there before, Krasuk said. Thanks for watching guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.